Hello and welcome to the 6th of our Midlands Parks Forum conferences. Fantastic turnout as usual and lots of new faces that I've not seen before, which again is really, really brilliant. As resources get tighter, and they are getting tighter in local government particularly, people find it really, really hard to attend these sort of events. So a really, really big thank you to all of you for attending today. A big welcome to people who have not attended any of our events before. I hope you have a really enjoyable experience and make the most of these important networking opportunities in the flesh, which I think is really, really important to meet people in person, as we so infrequently do that these days. As Chris said, my name is Liz Stuffins and I'm chair of the Midlands Parks Forum and also Green Spaces Manager at Walsall Council in the Black Country. Our vice chair of the forum is James Diamond over there, and James will be introducing the workshops after lunch. James is from Bradgate Park Trust as well, so we also have a number of other fellow trustees of the organisation. If you'd like to raise your hands and speak to them in the breaks, because they'll tell you all about some of the work that we've been doing. And Chris Warman, fantastic, Master of Ceremonies for the conference today, always does a brilliant job for us. In a moment, I'm going to hand over to Jack Pishorn, from who's Head of Culture, Tourism and Heritage here in North Hants, to welcome you to this fantastic location, Chester House. But before that, I just wanted to say a few words about the Midlands Parks Forum. So the forum was established as a charitable trust 4 years ago, and our programme manager at the back there, Alison Bate, was employed at that time. She's done an amazing job over the last 4 years developing our financial security for the trust, which we are really indebted to her for. We benefited early on from a Heritage Lottery resilience grant, which in the early days really helped us out. And we are now a truly sustainable organisation with approximately 70 members. And if there are people here today that are not members, we'd love to welcome you to our regular events. So they represent local authorities, land trusts and private sector organisations. So the theme for today's conference, as you're all aware, is access, inclusion and safety in parks. And this subject has been high on the agenda this year, as recommendations from the Sarah Everard case gradually becomes more embedded into our work. And we also were asked a question at last year's annual conference about what we as an organisation and as an industry were doing around equality and diversity in our work. So we think it's an excellent theme to focus on. I'm really indebted to our trustees for focusing on that element of the work that we do. Other highlights from this year, which we're focusing on the theme of diversity, were making space for girls. So you'll hear about that work later on. And a bit of a plug for Walsall Council has been involved in the Groundwork Trust Apprenticeship Programme, which is about inclusive access to green jobs. So we've recently, they've recently developed something called Force for Nature campaign in the last couple of weeks. Some people might have noticed that in the press. So that's a really excellent campaign. There's also been an EFRA government inquiry in the last few weeks about equality of access to green space, which we as an organisation, the Parks Forum, responded to. So we're eagerly awaiting recommendations from that inquiry. We are extremely lucky to have a range of excellent speakers today who've been working on accessibility and equality issues in green spaces. They will be inspiring and thought-provoking, and I hope you go away from today's conference with ideas to develop your own equalities action planning work. I'd like to say thank you to all of our speakers now and our sponsors, Sutcliffe, Play, Lantra and InfoPoint. I hope you find today's event a great opportunity to disseminate good practice and for networking across the Midlands region. And thanks to North Hants Council and Chester House for organising the wonderful venue and for hosting us today. I'm sure you'll get a lot out of the visit. We also need to thank James at Front Row Films for recording the conference. So we've got a record and people can dip into that when it goes onto our website in the future. And thanks to all our members and trustees. Everyone's given their time to support both the forum and this conference, especially Alison, obviously, who has to do the running round for us. She's done an excellent job. And finally, thanks to everybody for turning up today. You know, we've got a really good turnout, so excellent. Right, I'm going to hand over to Jack. Where is Jack?